Within 6 days to the February 25th presidential elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, yesterday declared there would be no voting by anybody without his or her permanent voters card, the PVC. Speaking at a retreat for newly appointed resident electoral commissioners, Rex, INEC chairman, Professor Mohammed Yakubu, who disclosed that the number of no PVC, no voting riot act noted that in the last few months, INEC has facilities that have been set ablaze in no fewer than 5 local government areas across the country. Also, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has vowed to arrest and prosecute touts obstructing campaigns by opposition political parties as well as politicians indulging in vote buying during the 2023 elections. This, nonetheless, the House of Representatives yesterday condemned all forms of attack on the facilities and buildings of the federal government in the country, particularly attacks on facilities and infrastructure of INEC. Dr. Bati, a lot to talk about on this.
Okay, the INEC chairman was reportedly speaking yesterday at a summit that had been organized by the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. And he made that point that no PVC, no voting. I guess that, that in itself is a no-brainer because, as he pointed out, it's a legal requirement. You must have a PVC, you must be a registered voter for you to be able to vote. In other words, it is a mandatory requirement of the law. And the relevant section of the law is Section 47, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022. So I say it's a no-brainer because, this is very obvious. If you are a registered voter, you can vote. By the way, it wasn't IPAC. That was a police event. The IPAC, the event where the INEC chairman spoke was at a retreat for the 19 newly appointed resident electoral commissioners. Out of the 19, 14 of them are new. 5 of them had been there. And 86 days to the February 25 presidential election, it made sense to provide a retreat, to organize a retreat for new resident electoral commissioners, for them to familiarize themselves with guidelines, for them to familiarize themselves with the legal framework, for them to realize, and to be, properly instructed in terms of the importance of their responsibility as resident electoral commissioners across, the Federation. So that was the purpose of the meeting, but then, the INEC chairman made that point that Section 47, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022 is sacrosanct. And he said that some people have been saying on social media that even if you don't have a PVC, you can vote. So he has made it clear now, you must vote. Only with your PVC. You must be a registered voter. That's not one leg of it. The second leg of it is that he talked about security, the attacks on INEC offices. 5 local government area offices of the INEC have been attacked in the last 4 months. Close to 2,000 ballot boxes have been stolen. Close to 400 cubicles, voting cubicles, have been made away with or destroyed. And 22 generators, electric power generators, in those affected states have also been destroyed. But the INEC chairman says, well, INEC is ready to replace all of this, but that continuous attack on INEC facilities, will limit the capacity of the Electoral Commission. And he was calling on all the security agencies and community leaders to help INEC to make sure that people don't continue to destroy facilities. And he cited the cases in Enugu State, in Ogun State, Abeokuta South, in Osun State, in Ede South, and Ebonyi State, in Easy local government area of Osun State. And so, the issue of security is also very important. However, with regard to these PVCs that have been destroyed, the INEC chairman was quoted when he visited Abeokuta earlier in the week that, the PVCs can be produced within 2 days. Okay, 4 different states now, 5 local government areas where, PVCs have been made away with. Is he really sure that they can produce those PVCs within 2 days? Because what he also said is that for you to get your PVC back, you must have your voter identification number, VIN. And once INEC has your VIN, they can reproduce your PVC. Well, I have a voter's card. I don't even know what is called the VIN, because nobody goes about looking at his PVC every day. Or if you have not been given, as is the case with the affected persons, how would they even know their voters' identification number? So that's where the problem is. And the real problem is that many Nigerians, who are involved in the incidents that the INEC chairman himself pointed out, are most likely to be disenfranchised. And it's just right in one regard that, look, the attack on INEC offices will not just limit INEC capacity; it will also disenfranchise. We have to add that many Nigerians who will have expected to vote, and that is a challenge clearly for the security agencies. The security agencies, the Inspector General of Police, who is saying there will be zero tolerance for vote buying, for thuggery and all that. Well, let him first of all keep his promise that INEC facilities will be protected, because it's important.
So two things has to be said. It is easy now for INEC to come out and say people are talking about on social media about the possibility of voting without the PVC. But let's go back. Why are people talking about that in the first place? People are talking about that because INEC has not shown logistical competence in the first place. And let's call a spade a spade. You see, I'm not for deceits. INEC has not shown logistical competence as regards this PVC issue. In defense of INEC, people too did not come out on time to register to get their PVCs. And we must stop this fire brigade approach. But the logistical competence of INEC is suspect. And that's why, because people are seeing the timeline of 3 months to the presidential election, and most PVCs, due to the new registration, have not been collected. And that's why people are beginning to talk like that online. We know that it's stipulated in the electoral law that you can't vote without a PVC. We know, we are aware of the law. But also, we are not oblivious of the hitherto logistical incompetence INEC has shown. What INEC should do now is to be able to reassure the people, not just by words of mouth, by action. When is this PVC collection going to go full swing? The over 5, 6, 7, 8 million people that newly registered, when are they going to get their PVCs? Do their officers in various local governments even know? I have heard people call me and say, Rufai, I went to this place, they said I should call this number said I should, there's nothing. So the population is as confused about what INEC is doing when they will get their PVCs. They keep giving timelines. At some point they say by November they'll start receiving. A lot of people are not received by November. I think I would even go further. If we open up our channel for reaching us on Arise TV and ask people, what are the challenges as regards receiving your PVC? You will see that people will have a lot to say. The bedlam will be countrywide. So apart from just talking, then match it with action. That's all we demand for INEC. Because a lot of people want to vote. 90 million Nigerians want to get a chance to have a say on who leads them. But when it looks as though because of vandalism, insecurity, and all of that, they've been disenfranchised, and great point you raised, Dr. Abati, about the VIN number and the PVCs to be printed again, then something is seriously cooking that we cannot even say or know. And if the PVC that is taking them months to print have been burnt in days, and you say you're going to print it back in days, where is the logistical architecture to print all of that? There are many questions INEC needs to answer. And that's why that conversation started up on social media. It is for INEC to, like they say in Nigerian parlance, show walk-ins. If people that registered have their PVC in their hands, they will not be concerned this way. Please, get PVC into the hands of voters, not leave them in INEC warehouses.